The Johannine Jesus group, like that of Luke, contained Samaritan believers. The scene with Jesus and the Samaritan woman was, therefore, likely read back into Jesus' lifetime from the history of the Johannine Jesus group. From a Mediterranean cultural perspective, there are other irregularities that offer new insight into this story that we should examine. First is wrong place, wrong time. The Mediterranean world is divided according to gender. Women have their places, kitchen, home. Men have theirs, outdoors, the fields, the gate, the marketplace. The well is a space common to both men and women, but they ought not to be there at the same time. Women can use the place only in morning and evening. That means the place is feminine in the evening and the morning. Here, the woman comes to the well at noon, when other women will be properly elsewhere. She's there at the well when the well is masculine. She is alone. Women don't come to the well alone. So there's problems, irregularities there. Second, speaking to a strange man in public. Even the woman admits this irregularity. John chapter 4, verse 9. How is it that you, a Judean man, ask me, a Samaritan woman, for a drink? Culture indicates that the problem is not different ethnic heritage, but different genders. For a man to speak to an unchaperoned woman in a public place is very suspicious. You all recall The Godfather Part 1, when Michael Corleone flees and goes to Sicily, and he begins to court Apollonia. Remember that? His first wife. You think they could just go out to a date and get a couple malts somewhere together and come back maybe 4 hours later, unaccompanied? Do you remember what happens as they go through the fields? You have all the village women, right? All the relatives. That's very Mediterranean. Accompanying, okay? And watching and monitoring to defend the honor of the families. Oh. Here's the third irregularity. Talking to other men in a public place. After her discussion with and enlightenment by Jesus, the woman went to the village marketplace, the place reserved for men. Women should not enter there when men are present, but she does. Okay. What would Jesus do? WWJD. I like better HDYKWJWD IYDKWJD. How do you know what Jesus would do if you don't know what Jesus did? I hate that phrase, WWJD. I want to tear hair out of my head when I see it. You will never know what the Bible means until you realize what the Bible meant. So these are the problems.
Maybe they're talking about the resurrected Jesus, not the pre-.
Well, I don't think so. I don't think they even make those distinctions. Did you make those distinctions before you came here? By the way, I don't know, Bill, I'm talking about the pre-Paschal Jesus now. I don't think people do that. Not because I don't mean this in any way disrespectful. I mean, it's just not commonly talked about. Yeah.
WWJD. I always thought it meant Wild and Wonderful Jody Ballard.
Acrostics are very interesting. I'm okay with that one, Joe. I am in full agreement. Wild and Wonderful Joe DiPaolo. That's great. Now that one I don't have a problem with. I have more of a problem. What would Jesus do? Well, what do you know? Do you know what Jesus? You don't know what he did, so how do you know what he would do? He's a Middle Eastern male. There's a whole lot of things he would do that are not appropriate now. Don't say that. Jesus is transcendental. He's like applicable. Everything he does is applicable in every human situation, every cultural situation. No, that's not true. No, that's not true. No, it is not true. Just like your American self can be very ugly in other cultural situations. You and I, I'm going to go see Justice League this weekend. because I like Lava King movies. I'm going to go see Justice League, and I guarantee you, when I go in to sit down in the movie theater, I'm not going to worry about if I'm sitting next to a woman I don't know or a man I don't know. I'm going to sit down. I'm not going to think who. Also, I'm not going to go in there going, where should I sit, knowing my honor status compared to the other honor statuses in the room. Like, who should get the best seat, the seat of honor, and where should I sit in the pecking order? Folks, 80% of the world, that's how it is. They'd be scandalized by my behavior going into the movie theater. Now, going into the movie theater is like how a lot of people go into the Bible. You're going into the Bible just go. You don't do that. You got to understand where you are and how people perceive reality there as best you can. It's hard. It's hard. But, most of the world doesn't think, perceive, think, judge, interpret, and communicate like Americans. And Jesus comes from that part of the world, okay? So what would Jesus do? Ridiculous question in many ways, the way it's used. Hey, thanks for watching. Just continue the playlist for the next part of the study. If you have further questions, this is good. They will get addressed, so keep watching. If you found value, please subscribe, like, and share. As always, questions, comments, and criticisms are most welcome. God bless you.